What do you got here?
It's a present. Let's open it.
All right. My favorite time of year to get presents and Santa Claus. I wonder what it's gonna be. All right. Oh! A bunch of Tiger Handheld games, which means only one thing: a crap ton of batteries. You remember those things, right? Yeah. Used to be you could walk into any toy section and there was usually a wall of these things. Most of the time they were based off of popular video games at the time just for a quick cash in. Even though most of us retro gamers bought these, we typically viewed these as the poor man's version of a Game Boy. I can tell you from personal experience, a very small percentage of these I played as a kid were actually enjoyable. The rest were horrible abominations of gaming that should have never been made. So why did we gravitate toward these things? I think after all these years, I finally have an answer, at least for me. I think it was the artwork, because even nowadays, I'm still collecting these, but rarely playing them. I just like looking at them. First up, let's take a look at Double Dragon. Now this was one I played a lot as a kid. Very simple gameplay, you walk from left to right, beating up the same guy over and over again. Actually, it's not that simple anymore since I have to push the right button several times just to get him to move. But that's to be expected with age. You do have your basic punch and kick, and I really use the term kick very loosely here since it actually looks more like two invisible pieces of rope are actually pulling your legs apart as opposed to actually kicking. As I recall, I believe you could jump kick, but the up button appears to no longer work, so that's out of the question. You do get to fight a boss every 1,000 points or so, but it's basically the same character you've been fighting the whole time. In fact, it's hard to tell you're even making progress, and if it weren't for these what look like mounds of poop, I wouldn't have known there was an end to this level. For what it's worth, it's fun, but repetitive. Let's try 101 Dalmatians. These black protruding corners are kinda weird. Are they supposed to be inspired by the spots of the dogs, or maybe the tactile pads from the paws? Well, for whatever reason they're there, it sure is a strange design compared to most Tiger electronics. So what the hell am I doing here? Jumping over holes and picking up other dogs? Considering the background is based off of the inside of a house, I'd say there's clearly some construction issues here. Oh great, the fast button is stuck. And my game froze. Yeah, I can't say I'm too disappointed considering the ear-piercing music it blesses you with. Well, that didn't take very long. Let's try Gauntlet.
Yeah!
This one holds up pretty good. You get a choice of two characters in this one where you can pick either an axe-wielding male or a sexy lady with a sword. It plays just like any Gauntlet games of the past where you're running around a maze fighting monsters just trying to find the exit. Keys still work the same here where it basically opens up a wall, but you don't really need them since there's always a way to walk around. Your health still depletes the way it does in the original games, except for one really strange difference. If you swing your weapon, whether it connects with an enemy or not, you instantly lose 5 health. Why? That would be like if I got nosebleeds every time I shadow boxed for 2 seconds. I also played Caesar's Palace a lot too, and if you've seen my views on casino games in the past, you already know why. One thing that I always found attractive about this particular handheld was that it had a flip open door, which I thought was pretty cool at the time. Considering it looks like a cell phone, it's really surprising to see how much I've grown to reject the communication age. Virtua Fighter is another good one. Shockingly, you can actually choose from a handful of characters, which is kind of rare in these types of handheld games. However, unlike the real Virtua Fighter games, no skill is required here. It's literally just mash the buttons until you win. At this age, I'm not really into it, but I can tell you with complete certainty, I would have loved this one as a kid. Alright, let's see what's next.
I hope there's a Star Wars one in there.
Well, there's not a Star Wars one, but there is a Star Trek one.
Aww.
Yeah, Star Trek The Next Generation just so happens to be my favorite show of all time. I don't know if that makes me a Trekkie or a Trekker. If you've ever seen any of the Trekkie documentaries, everybody seems to have a different definition of what that means, so let's just say I'm a hybrid. So I'm a Trekkie-er. Well, I'm getting off track here. The game is, well, it's sort of like F-Zero meets Asteroids. You have a teleporter button, but it doesn't seem to do anything, so I'm not sure if I'm just not doing it right or it's broken. Warp makes you go faster, as you'd guessed. Kind of looks like you're just fighting rocks and what I think are supposed to be Romulan warbirds. Other than that, it's just okay. I mean, considering Star Trek is somewhat of a complicated series, this is overly simplistic. However, if you do want to complicate things, there's always Ninja Fighter, which ties a different weapon to every control that only works on certain enemies in a specific position. Like for example, if someone's behind you, you have to kick them. You can't use your sword, or if you have someone ducking in front of you, you have to use a bomb. Do ninjas even use bombs? Isn't that the opposite of their purpose? It's not exactly a stealthy weapon. That would be like using a lawnmower to kill a ninja. Speaking of which, I'm supposed to be a ninja fighter, yet I'm dressed as a ninja? What kind of crazy hate do you have to harbor just to kill your own kind? The worst part about it is that this seems to be the smallest screen I've ever seen on a Tiger handheld game. It makes you feel like you need a magnifying glass just to play it.
Punch him in the face! Punch him! Yeah, punch that guy in the face! Yeah, punch him!
Okay, let's check out Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
What do you think of the music?
It's poopy.
Yeah, you got that right.
Not really sure what to say. I mean, I'm jumping. Yet, even though that's pretty simple, all I'm doing is jumping, I'm not sure what's going on.
Let's see what else we got here. 2 Batman games. You got Batman 1989 and Batman Forever. Here, you have Batman Forever.
Oh, man.
Well, for this Batman game, it definitely has the most appropriate background since you can only maneuver between the top and bottom areas. In this one, you're basically just fighting an endless onslaught of bad guys. Your batarangs actually look like flying yo-yos, which your enemies seem to also be throwing at you. Really, it's just a balancing act of dodging the level's projectiles. Nothing more to it, but not a bad game.
Here, you trade me.
Hey,
In Batman Forever, I'm assuming Batman is suffering from some kind of demon possession since he can't stop running. You have bad guys coming from every direction, and in a way it's similar to Ninja Fighter in the sense that some moves only work in certain areas. You have a grapple hook, but it basically just makes you float in the air for a second. You also have a button that says help, which makes this guy fly over your head. I think it's supposed to be Robin, but I'm not sure. Trust me, it sucks. Here's one, basketball, which takes a 9-volt battery. Is this a game or a friggin' smoke detector?
but it's just a bunch of red dots.
Yeah, this is before they invented basketball players.
Let's check out one more, Copycat, which I find hilarious because it's basically just a copy of Simon. I would say this isn't bad at all. The problem though is the buttons have seen better days. Oftentimes when you hit each button, it thinks you're tapping it 2 or 3 times in some cases. Not really the game's fault, it's had its share of abuse.
Well, did you have a good Christmas?
Almost.
Well, there's always next year. Say, I think there might be something hidden behind that tree over there.
Yeah?
Yeah, maybe you should go check it out.
Okay.
You didn't get him another present, did you?
I don't know, it's probably Santa or something. You know, whether it's the old generation or the new, everyone can appreciate the classics. Merry Christmas. You're weird. Oh, I slobbered.